idea is I'm going to be telling you how to think like a mathematician, right? Think like a mathematician. Right. Okay, so don't focus on me. You can take everyone else. You know.
Yes, sir.
Right. Now.
Hey guys, smile. What's up?
But then when I'm writing something on the board, make sure you.
Yes, sir.
Right. So now, the whole idea is that being a mathematician is being a problem solver. You understand? So being a mathematician is being a problem solver. Right. You find that for any job that you apply for, that's meaningful. Instead of being a maid, right? You find that you need to have at least matric maths or some numerical studies on such. You ever ask yourself why? Because some of the jobs don't even use maths, but they'll say we want someone with maths. Because someone who has done maths has been trained to solve problems. And you find that in life, there are two things that you should be able to do, right? No matter where you're going to be or how you're going to be, you should be able to solve problems and you should be able to make decisions. Those two things. Solving problems and making decisions. For you to make an informed decision, you have to analyze the situation, right? And make a proper decision. So now, for you to understand maths, right, you first have to understand that maths is a language. Maths is a language. Maths is a language. So, you communicate in maths. When your teacher is asking you maths questions and you're answering back with the answers, you're actually communicating. But you're not communicating strictly in English. You're communicating in maths mixed with English. You understand? Because maths, if you want, you can actually communicate in maths only without English. I'll give you an example, right? Where I'm going to say, da-da-da, look at that.
Oh, hey. What's it?
Right? Right. I've written, so what I've done is, I've written a sentence, right? I've written it purely in maths. No English whatsoever. So maths is the language of symbols, you understand? So I will translate this for you, right? Ask me later, not now. So this is, I'll do it for you before I go. Right, now, when you're learning maths, when you want to succeed in maths, you have to learn it like a language, right? Now, for you to learn a language, for you to be able to speak Zulu, what do you have to do? Learning a language, what do you do?
Learn the basics.
Yeah, learning a language. Learning, is that a language? Right, what do you do? Yes?
You start with the basics.
Uh-huh.
Basically, greeting, saying goodbye, asking about.
Yes, the basics, right? Yes?
So before you can know how to say hello and stuff,
Yes.
you have to know the alphabet.
Yes, that's the foundation, that's the basic, right? Yes, that's it. So, for you to be able to construct words, construct sentences, you have to know the alphabet. Now, the mathematical alphabet is the number line, right? That's the alphabet, the number line. If you know your number line, from negative infinity to positive infinity, and then you know your addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, then you'll be able to use that to come up with anything that is mathematical. You understand? That's the most important thing. Now, when learning a language, there are two components of learning that you have to do, right? The first one is you have to listen, right? When you're speaking in Zulu, I should listen, right? I will listen. So when your teacher is speaking in maths, telling you, giving you formulas, doing examples, your job is to listen. And then after listening, you're going to speak the language. Yes. Don't worry. Speak the language, right? Now, how do you speak the language? language. Because you've listened, you're going to try and talk. So if I start speaking Zulu and it's broken, it's fine. You understand? That's why when you're given work to do, you do it and you get your answer wrong. It's fine. But what you do after getting it wrong is what's important. You have to correct where you got it wrong, right? You have to correct it and actually learn the proper thing. So practice is not good enough. You need correct practice. You get it? Otherwise, you're going to teach yourself the whole day 1 + 1 = 3. 1 + 1 = 3. Come exam, yes, you practice very hard, but you practice the wrong thing. And you're not going to pass, right? So, practice is good, but correct practice. So now, the elements of a language, you're saying there's listening and there's what? Speaking. Now, how do you speak maths? Speaking maths, in your case, you are going to?
Answer to the phone.
Yes, you're going to actually do the maths, right? Do the maths. Right. You're doing it by actually writing down problems, solving them, right? That's how you speak maths. And when you're more advanced, you can become like us, where we actually speak in pure maths. But for you, it's not necessary because you're supposed to use English, right? So, the trick now is these 30-minute lessons that you have. The whole idea is listening as much as possible, right? And doing, right? And doing. But when you get home now, that is where you pass or fail. Do you know that what you do outside class is what actually determines if you're going to pass or fail? Because all of you are getting the 30 minutes of listening and doing, you're doing whatever is being done here, but what you do afterwards. Because if we do 3, 4 problems, right? If, do examples, then you guys do 3 problems, the bell rings, you go home, you close your book, and then you come back. You will not understand. Someone who goes home and actually does 10 problems of their own is better off than you get it? So the trick is in the doing. But the doing can only be done after you've listened and understood. You understand? Now, in English, when you're doing English, I know you do your language, literature, whatever, right? There's a lot of exercises where you do comprehension and stuff, right?
Yes.
Comprehension, it means understanding. So, for you now to be able to do effectively, for you to become a proper mathematician, you have to use a certain method, a certain model